So hello again everybody, I'm back from my week off. It is Friday the 20th of August 2021. It's lunchtime, it's time for another Jonnychipz Weekly. This is episode number 34, The Return. So hello again everybody, hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. It is Friday the 20th of August, like I just said. It's episode number 34. Things are going great. I've had a week off and it's been fantastic. Thought I'd stay with the cadence of these weekly update videos though. Going to be a shorter video this week because I've literally probably turned the laptop on once or twice through the last week, which has been brilliant. Had some great time away with the family this week. So without further ado, let's just jump straight on into some community call-outs. Okie doke. Well, let's kick things off. Abel Wang's sad passing a couple of weeks back now. Obviously, it's impacted the tech community massively. Such a sad loss for such an inspirational person. In kind of as a little bit of an homage to Abel. It was launched, this T-shirt, don't accept the defaults, Abel Wang. A T-shirt was kind of made and all proceeds raised were going to be donated to Girls Who Code. Just kind of calling out this tweet from April Edwards, really, and Rick Claus in terms of that order process. They've done phenomenally well. They've hit I think they've hit their goal now, which is fantastic. But of course, you know, people still can go and order those shirts as far as I'm aware now. So I've got mine on order. Hopefully that'll be delivered soon. I'll be wearing that with pride as a little remembrance of Abel, you know, as a small token. Basically just to the way that he impacted my own tech life and tech work and the inspiration, the education, the information, everything that Abel did for all of us across the community. So just start off this show with a bittersweet kind of post, really, just that token remembrance for Abel, for Abel and the fantastic work that he's done for all of us across the community. So huge well done and thank you to everybody that's already bought that T-shirt. Of course, if you haven't bought one, go and buy one now. Jump on over, follow April. There's a link under April's Twitter feed there, and go and get involved. So yeah, well done to everybody that has, and let's see if we can keep that one going. Okay, moving on. An exciting one. So Greg Asuti and Richard Hooper, the Festive Tech Calendar, the annual event that I first kind of became aware of last Christmas. So it's throughout December, where we'll be doing community sessions, recordings, bit of fun, you know, whatever it may be in relation to tech. I know the guys kind of set this up last year, and it was pretty much quite a massively inclusive event that went on throughout the month of December. So Gregor posted this out this week saying that the call for speakers would be announced this week. So I believe it's gone out today. So stay tuned, look out for that post from Gregor and get involved. I mean, there's going to be some fantastic community content undoubtedly throughout the period of December from this Festive Tech Calendar. So yeah, hugely exciting. Really looking forward to that starting. I'd like to get involved. I'll see what I can do to get involved. Of course, I'll be hopefully submitting a session. Hopefully that'll get accepted. But I know that the guys have done a phenomenal job over the years with that. So just wanted to call that out. Stay tuned. Keep an eye out on Gregor's post for that, and get involved if you can. As it's Friday, Patch and Switch are back today. Tonight's 5 p.m. British Standard Time, BST. I always like to jump on this show. It's a great chat with the guys, with Rick and Joey, and of course Gerard, you know, getting involved with over on the twitch.tv channel. So yeah, that's going out tonight. Go and tune in for that if you can. It's always a good fun show to listen in on over a nice cold beer. So as I'm off on holiday, I've had several cold beers, so I'll probably partake in another one and watch that show a little bit later. Big shout out to the cloud management community. So my good friends, well, there's Dean, there's Andy, there's Simon and Dan. They've done phenomenally well. Their channel on YouTube was launched only 6 months ago. They've got a huge following now. I think they've gone well over 600 subscribers. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go and follow them now. They're doing some great content. I believe they're moving more to live events now as well throughout the month. So go and follow the guys on Twitter at @the_CM community, and obviously jump on in there. Go and follow them over on YouTube, and stay tuned for the great content that they're putting out at the moment. So yeah, well done to all the guys and gals involved with that one, and look forward to seeing what they've got coming next. Jürgen has tweeted this out. Now, he's put a GitHub repo together of all the Microsoft examinations, which is pretty cool. And it kind of gives you some information as to when the recent changes were, when they were last updated, at a glance. And you can click on these and browse straight on over to the actual exam docs page from Microsoft. He's got some links there as to when there are more upcoming changes, when exams are going to be retired. So all in all, it's a pretty nice little set of resources there if you are interested in examinations, to get a bit of an overview on the various examinations that Microsoft have got out there. And he split them down into categories. And like I say, just links to all the exams. So if you're looking for a place to go to find all the Microsoft examinations, go and give Jürgen on Azure a follow on GitHub, and go and find his repo and take a look at that. Thanks, Jürgen. My good friends Chris and Carl did another session, I believe, last night on integration. So looking at the integration techniques. I've not watched this one back yet, but I certainly will be. Chris is always putting out some fantastic content in the community. As always, he does his weekly show, and of course he's got guest shows, and I think Carl was hosting this one with Chris, talking through that integration story with Chris's blog and website, just looking at how you can use GitHub and integrate that to push and publish changes and things like that through CI/CD and integration techniques. So go and have a little watch of that. That'll be an interesting show. And yeah, like I say, I'm going to catch up on that when I get some time now to do that. So yep, thanks Chris and Carl for that one. Moving over to Mr. Lee, Simon has published a blog. Now, I remember seeing Scott Hanselman's post on integrating Oh My Posh into your command line interface. So whether it's PowerShell or Linux command line, where you get that pretty prompt, basically. So you get that ability to kind of deploy this, and you get this nice pretty prompt that you can kind of gives you a bit of meaningful feedback about your environment and what's going on. So Simon's put together a neat little how to install, and I believe he's done a bit of a PowerShell script to kind of help deploy that with more ease, I guess. There we go. So he's done an automated installation of that. He's listed his PowerShell script there. So it's quite a comprehensive script, it's probably fair to say. Well done, Simon, for putting that together and putting that back out into the community. If you are interested, I'll just quickly fire up my Windows shell. You can see that I've got my pretty prompt there. When it eventually loads, clearly mine's a little bit slow to load there. So you can see that there's my pretty prompt, and it's pretty cool. So go and take a look at that. Thanks, Simon, for putting that out there to help others get that installed on their environments. Maria Anastasia, who was my roving reporter last week, has put together an article of Azure IoT news. She's got it there. Go and have a look at that. Think about IoT.com, and there's Maria's blog and news. And of course, she was my roving reporter last week. She's put a nice little link to that. So thank you, Maria, for that. But yeah, I can see Maria putting some absolutely fantastic content back out there in the world of IoT, which is certainly an area close to my heart. She's doing some fantastic things at the moment in the community, and I'm sure there's still far more to come from Maria as well. I'm really excited to see what she gets up to over the coming months. I'll certainly be watching, supporting, and undoubtedly learning from some of the content Maria's putting out there as well. So go and give Maria a follow. Give her a bit of support and encouragement. She's doing some fantastic things there. Thank you, Maria. And finally, for this week's community call-out, my good friend Mr. Fatonka, who helps co-organise the Welsh Azure user group, has got back to blogging. I've noticed he's been blogging a few bits and pieces out lately. So go and have a little look at his blog. So memoryleak.co.uk. This week he's put an article out there around using managed identity to connect to Azure services from the API management. So some great information there about, obviously Matt working through some of these things. He's put it into blog form to help us all understand it a little bit better. So thank you, Matt, for that. There's my community call outs for this week. Let's jump on back over to my big face camera. whilst I change all the settings. And what we will do now, I think, is we will go over to the Azure news and updates. And I always got to look down at my buttons here because I put them there and I know where they are, but then I have to go through lots of menus. So anyway, let's jump on over to this week's Azure news and updates. Here we go. Hello and welcome to the Azure News and Updates on Friday the 20th of August 2021. Okay, so only a few roving reporters for you this week, only because I've been away, I've been on holiday, I've not had a chance to rally the troops and get my roving reporters out there. We were doing a fantastic job for me. They've obviously taken a bit of time off as well, but we got some great community people giving us some updates for now. So without further ado, let's jump on over to Phil. He's got some news about app containerization. Phil, are you there?
Hey, John. So for my update, I wanted to mention an article that I had read earlier this week. I actually saw it on a post on LinkedIn by Chris Reddington, Cloud with Chris, and it's about Azure Migrate app containerization. So Azure Migrate obviously allows you to migrate your on-premises applications to Azure, and Azure Migrate app containerization allows you to search for, on your application server, search for all of your .NET and Java web applications, then containerize them, publish them to an Azure container registry, and then deploy them to Azure Kubernetes service. So it looks like a really interesting service. It's currently in preview. App containerization is currently in preview on the Azure portal. It looks promising, looks really interesting. So I would give it a go and check it out.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah, no, some great advice there. So the app containerization piece has gone into preview now with actually getting your apps containerized, stored in ACI, as Phil just pointed out there, and for use in whatever capacity you choose, whether that's local Docker or Kubernetes or into web app services, whatever it is that you may be find that you need to do for it. So thanks for that, Phil. Huge bit of news there from Microsoft. That will be interesting to see how that one pans out over the coming months. Okay, let's move on to our next update from my roving reporter in Middle-earth, Mr. Dean Ellerby. Are you there?
Hi John, back with you almost live this time from Middle-earth. You might have heard a couple of weeks ago that Microsoft launched the Windows 365 Cloud PC, but then had to take down the trial of that because it got a bit too popular, I think. So I wanted to let you know that there is an interactive demo version of that available at aka.ms/w365demo, and that will allow you to try out the Cloud PC without having to wait for the trial to come back online. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Dean. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a demo version. Cool. I'll certainly be looking into that one. So great bit of news there. So thank you very much for letting us know, Dean. Appreciate that, sir. Okay, we've had quite a plethora of other news from the Azure world this week as well. So we'll quickly run through a few of those announcements from this week's Azure Update site. So without further ado, then we've got Azure Archive storage events for easy rehydration of archive blobs has gone into general availability. We've got new VM series are supported by Azure Batch. So looking at the FX range, the NDA 100 v4 series and the NP series. There's links here. If you browse on over to the Azure News website, you can get some links to further information on these updates as well, by the way. So take a look at that. Some retirement announcements. So Log Analytics Agent in Azure Monitor will be retired in a few years' time, so the 31st of August 2024. So using the Azure Monitor agent instead. So take a look at that, and if you are using that agent, then think about getting that changed out as soon as you can. Some other retirement news: NV Series, NV Promo VMs will be retired in a year's time, so the 31st of August 2022. If you are using those series VMs, then you might want to think about using some different VM sizes, basically. So they're saying there in the announcement that it's not impacting the newer NV V3 and V4 series VMs. So think about changing out if you are using any of those VMs. Public preview announcement that Azure Static Web Apps has got public preview support for private endpoints, which is pretty cool. So if you are doing some of that static content, that static web app service, and you need to have that private availability on a private IP, it's in preview. So private endpoints is now in preview for that service. So take a look at that if it's of interest. General availability, public DNS support for private AKS clusters. Cool. We've got enhanced troubleshooting experiences now generally available for additional resources in Network Insights. So pretty cool. So there's a few bits and pieces when you onboard the resources. You can see a resource topology, so showing the health and connected resources. You can use a pre-built workbook showing all key metrics along multiple. Okay, there's no further words after that, so I guess that makes sense. Does it? And direct links to the documentation for troubleshooting and help. Okay, GA again, CSI storage driver support on AKS. Pretty cool. So if you are using that CSI sort of standard for accessing storage, then that is in support now with AKS. Take a look at that. Mounting Azure Storage as a local file share for web apps deployed on App Service has gone generally available. We've also now got AKS support for Kubernetes 1.21. So that's gone GA as of the 18th of August. So if you are using a previous version, you're now able to upgrade to 1.21. Some more retirement news. So NC series VMs are going to be retired by August 2022, as are HB series virtual machines, but they're going to be retired by 2024. So take a look at those two, NC and HB series. If you are using them, take a look at trying to switch out to a different range or different series VM. GA, Azure Blob storage inventory has gone generally available. I'm not too sure what that is. So prior to inventory, either a separate catalog system or listing of all blobs and analyzing added complexity and cost to solutions that use blob storage. So with inventory, all blobs and containers that match an optional filter will be listed on a daily or weekly basis to a CSV. Okay, that's pretty cool. So that can be output. That's interesting concept. Take a look at that. Yeah, okay, so if you are using any IoT Central apps, then make sure that you get them migrated off to version 3 before March 2022, as that'll be the retirement of version 2. And there's been some updates to things that are going to be upgraded effectively and deprecated. So the text-to-speech neural voice needs to be updated by August 2024, and there's some Azure cognitive search skills that are going to be retired at the same time as well. So if you are using any of those, take a look at this article. It'll give you a few ideas, but basically it comes down to upgrading to the version 3 of the platform. Azure Monitor's baseline and calculate baseline APIs are going to be retired in November this year, 2021. So again, if you are using any of these services, take a look. You might want to think about readdressing those things. Okay, so in preview, we've got placement policies are now in public preview for our Azure VMware solution. Cool. And finally, in this week's update, we've got Azure Blob Storage last access time tracking has now gone generally available, which is pretty cool. So if you are you do need to use that metadata for any reason within your applications, that's now supported with Azure Blob Storage, that last access time. Okay, so that was our Azure news and updates for this week. Let's go back over to my big face. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Okie doke. So yeah, like I say, it's going to be a little bit of a whistle-stop tour this week. We're going to head back on over to my desktop now and take a look at the Welsh Azure news and updates. So again, as per last week, really the same announcement from last week. We are looking to go face-to-face. Too soon? Not too soon? I don't know. There's a bit of a mixed feeling about this at the moment. Obviously, we've all still got to keep safe. We know that the virus is still out there and it's prevalent in the community. We know that vaccinations are being rolled out as quickly as possible and people are taking them on. The news reports, I don't know about you, but I tend to just try and avoid the news at the moment because you don't know which way to turn at times. But We are going to still try and aim to get our September meetup as an in-person event, as well as a streamed event, so a hybrid event, I suppose you could call it. Wednesday, the 29th of September. Please, if you are looking to come, go onto our meetup group. So follow at Welsh Azure on Twitter. Browse on over to the meetup page, which is this page here. We're going to be making the announcements of our speakers this week. So we got some cool, interesting speakers for you to kick off our first live in-person event, which will be cool. So stay tuned for that news. But yeah, if you can browse over to the meetup page, go and RSVP to that. You will find there's a little link there. So I put this link to an Office 365 form. And what this form is basically, if you're looking to attend virtually, so just to the virtual team session as usual, please do sign up and RSVP here. If you are looking to come in person, please fill in this form. Click on that link. Just drop us your name, your organization email, just so we've got a record of the number of people that are going to come to the in-person event. So obviously we can make preparations for the number of people that we're expecting and some refreshments and things like that. So like I say, that is on Wednesday, the 29th of September. The doors will open at 6 o'clock, but we'll be setting up for half an hour. So we're aiming to start around about 6:30. BST, and it's at Tramshed Tech, which is in Cardiff. There's the postcode. Go and Google that. It would be brilliant to see you all. Obviously, we are going to be adhering to any COVID rules that are in place whilst we're there, which we'll obviously be making people aware of whilst we're at the venue. So obviously, please respect those rules, and obviously the whole point of those rules is so that we can keep everybody as safe as possible. But equally, we understand there are people that are still a little bit nervous and anxious about in-person events, which is, completely understandable. So, just keep that in mind. Obviously, we're going to try our best to adhere to all COVID rules that we need to follow to make sure that this is as safe as possible. But equally, we want to make this as fun and inclusive as we can as our first proper in-person event. So really looking forward to that. Please do RSVP. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you've missed any of our previous sessions, as I say every week, we've got all of the sessions up on the YouTube channel below. If you look down below, you'll see the Welsh Azure user group playlist. Go and take a look. There's some fantastic content. Last month's event is up there, from Servant talking about AVD and the rollout with the University of Glasgow, through to, obviously we had talks from Ricardo and Sasha covering Azure Sentinel and Redis Cache. Some fantastic information. But if you want to scroll back through the months, we've had some fantastic speakers and fantastic content. It's all there, all time-stamped and available for you to take a look at. So yeah, there's our Welsh Azure user group updates for this week. Okay, and finally, what we will do is jump on over to my Jonnychipz on the side. What have I been up to this week then? Let's go and have a look. So, as the previous video said, holiday. That was the name of the last week's video. I've been on holiday. Unbelievable. I know. I can't really remember the last time I had some time off work, and it was great. Me and the family, we managed to get some time away up the north of the UK, doing some activities with the kids. Managed to get some beach time in, which was fantastic. We had 1 or 2 good days with good weather. Managed to get the kids out on the sand, and I made mine with my Jonnychipz on the sand, as you've got to do that. So yeah, I've had a really fantastic bit of downtime. Basically, I've stayed off socials for the most part, mainly because I've been super busy with the family doing various bits and pieces. So it's been good fun, and equally, partly deliberately, just to kind of recharge and step away from the socials a little bit, because it's like anything, too much of a good thing can not become a good thing. So got to remember to take some time away, take some time out. There's no harm in taking the time out. Just get back to it, just set your plan, get back to what it is that you want to get back to. But just make sure you've got some time for yourself, for your family, for whatever else it is that keeps you happy. Make sure you make time for that. It's not all about the socials. It's not always about the tech. So just keep that in mind. I've had a fantastic week away, but now we're coming to the weekend again, starting to think about the work that I've got coming up for next week with my day job, and obviously some of the stuff going back for socials and for the community. So got lots and lots and lots of ideas. I just need to execute and find that time to execute and do some fun things with it. So what else have I been up to? So just before I finished last week, I managed to sit the beta AZ700 exam. Now, I must admit, I didn't do all the study and swatting that I wanted to do. I managed to watch John Saville's fantastic exam cram on the AZ700. I also managed to work through the majority of the Microsoft Learn modules. And I did skip through the last couple of modules. I've done a fair amount of work over the years with the various networking components within Azure, but it's fair to say I've not dabbled in every single area. So there were certainly areas where you kind of either know it or you don't know it. So you kind of have to do that swatting. And my first impressions after finishing that exam were, I tweeted out, it was a lot trickier than I felt it needed to be. I think some of the questions, without going and breaking any NDA, some of the questions were very detailed, almost to the point where you probably, they shouldn't, I didn't feel they should have been that detailed, around just trying to remember, if you're not a regular networking person, to sit down and work out what a /24 subnet mask is relatively straightforward. It's the 3 octets. But then when you start breaking that down into /27s and 29s, then yeah, you can remember them. But look, on the fly, when you get hit with a question like that, you're thinking, oh, right, okay, which subnet range is that? If I start at 0, or, does that go up to 64? Which, so certainly there were times where I thought, I could have done with a pen and paper. Certain questions we're asking you to, to obviously piece together certain components from a networking point of view. And when you're reading words out, you're trying to draw the picture in your head as you're reading out, and you might read something slightly wrong. And I could have done with a bit of paper, basically, is what my initial reaction was. And I know when you do the normal, well, I say normal, they've not been normal for a while now, but when you did the pre-COVID exams where you were at a test center, they did give you a nice sort of laminated sheet with a dry white marker pen that you could use to make notes and sketch. But of course, when you're doing them from home, they scan your desk area. You can't have anything on your desk. So, not even a pen and a piece of paper. So you're literally there with you and the screen trying to recall this and trying to work it out in your head, which I don't know about you, but sometimes I think, okay, it's fair to a point, but equally, it's not real life. You wouldn't sit there and guess and hope that you're right with the customer engagement. You would have written it down. You would have used Google. You would have made sure that you've got the right CIDR range or whatever it may be. So that's my initial reaction. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously, with it being a beta exam, they get regraded just before the exam goes GA. So I'm not sure if I did enough to pass, to be honest. I didn't feel very confident at the end of it, so I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't make the grade. There were certain areas that I was absolutely fine and comfortable with, but equally there were certain areas where I absolutely did not know and I hadn't studied properly for it. So we'll see. We'll see what the outcome of that is. If I've got to resit it, then hey-ho, it's not the end of the world. It's not a problem. So I managed to do that last week. What else have I been up to? Just to call out, if you do want to be a roving reporter, as one of the in the Azure News and Updates, please do get in touch. Drop me a DM on Twitter or message me. All I'm after is for people across the community to just record me a 30 to 60 second video. Hopefully it doesn't become too encompassing. Literally just pick up your phone, read me out one of the Azure updates of the week, and send it over to me. Give me a link that I can download the video. That would be hugely appreciated. I'll put it in the weekly Azure News and Updates show. It was just an idea. We'll see. It's I appreciate I don't want to be a burden on anybody and ask for people to do this week in, week out. But equally, if people do have the time, I would appreciate it. It's just a bit of fun, just a bit of kind of helping people either speak to a camera for the first time maybe, or put something back into the community and be part of a little bit of a show. Then anyway, if you do want to get involved, please hit me up, DM me, drop me over a little video, and we'll get you on the following week's show. Cool. Okay, so it is Friday. Therefore, I took last Friday off from the In Conversation With because I knew I was going to be away. I didn't want to just put a video out without being there, watching it go out and being there to answer any questions or get involved in the chat. But we're back tonight. In Conversation With is back tonight, and it's back with a fantastic episode with Kirk Ryan. So Kirk is always brilliant. He does a huge amount across the community. It was such a pleasure having a chat with Kirk around, his journey to developing Busby, the Busby app, the personal safety app that he's done with him and the team of guys that he's working with there over at busby.io. Also just Kirk's background in the industry, what he's been up to, his thoughts and feelings on a few things. Join us tonight, 6:30 p.m. BST. It'll be streaming over on the Azure Live Twitch TV channel, and then it'll be out on YouTube shortly afterwards. Really super fun. Looking forward to that one going out tonight. Hope you can join us and get involved. That would be absolutely fantastic. Okay, in other news, this was pretty cool. I must admit, I was quite blown away by this, but I was contacted by Elgato, believe it or not, because of one of my photos, my photos that I put out every now and again to publicize bits and pieces. I was contacted by someone from Elgato, so I believe they're sending me some cool kit out to test, and of course I'll be doing an unboxing. I'll be doing a little bit of an overview video, which I thought was, I was honoured to be kind of picked out. So they give me a list of the stuff they're going to send me, and I'm kind of blown away, to be honest. So I'm really looking forward to some of that arriving, just so I can kind of have a play and put that out there and let everybody know what it's like. So if you don't know, Elgato, they make super quality live streaming, video production, home video production equipment like lights, like the Stream Deck. They've got the face cam now. They got the Wave 3 microphone. They got all sorts of panels like acoustic treatment for your walls. They got green screens, basically anything and everything that you need to do live streaming. Of course, it does cost money. They're not the cheapest of brands, but I think it's fair to say they're one of the leading brands for having pretty much anything that you need to do live streams in their product catalog. So super excited to see what comes of that and what they send me. And watch out for a video drop fairly soon. And moving on, okay, to finish off the week, my other half surprised me by not one, but 2 kittens. So we've now got 3 cats. Okay, so there's been a little bit of a debate now internally in my own household, because originally my middle daughter won the naming convention and she went for Oreo and Cookie. And I'm sad to say, but it's been overturned. And do you know what? And I can't remember. I think the cats are now called Ash and Bandit, which was my son's choice. So we did it with a random number generator, but after Oreo and Cookie, I love the names Oreo and Cookie. I thought they were great, but the kids weren't too hot on them. So we decided, okay, fine, we'll start again. Anyway, we've got 2 new kittens, which is great. They're lovely little things running around the house there, scratching all the sofa. It's great. What more could you want? No, I love them, really. So yeah, that's how I finished off my week. And of course, back to the point of this video, the return. After a week away, sometimes it is it's tricky to get back in that mindset, to get prepared and set up straight for work, but this is where we're at now anyway. Anyway, that's my Jonnychipz on the side. Let's head back on over to my big face screen. And just some closing thoughts. So yeah, this video, I said this video was going to be short, but it's not. We're still over half an hour. I can waffle on. And as I do that, I can see that my lights are a bit bright, so I'm going to turn them down a bit. Not that that matters too much, but anyway, some closing thoughts. Yeah, like everybody at the moment, I guess there's still lots going on in community. There's lots going on in work. Work is phenomenal. There seems to be opportunities coming out of the woodwork left, right, and centre, which is fantastic, but it's just keeping everybody busy. Likewise with the community. Obviously, the last few weeks since I was awarded my MVP award, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, to be honest. There's been so much information. It's been almost a little bit of an information overload to a certain extent, but I managed to take some time off. It was my birthday as well, by the way, last weekend. So thank you for everybody for your birthday wishes. Appreciate that. I don't think you tend to celebrate them when you get to my age, do you? No, I mean, it was great fun. The kids and my other half spoiled me rotten while we were away. Looking forward to showing you guys what my birthday present was off my other half. That'll become apparent in the next few weeks. So yeah, I've had a really fun time. It's been nice to kind of just unwind, put your feet up, relax a little bit. As much as I love doing these videos and the community content and speaking to fantastic people from the community, it all takes time. It takes preparation. It's time away from the family when, you could be over there having a cold cider or a cold beer with your feet up watching an episode of EastEnders. I'm over here doing this, and I love doing this kind of stuff, and I'm hopeful that I can kind of chop and change things up over the next few weeks and do some different content and start thinking about what I want to do in terms of my community, putting things back in the community, because I don't know about you, but I think there is so many things that I could and want to do. It's kind of sometimes just picking the thing that you want to do and running with that. And I think I'm in a little bit of a state of, right, what am I going to do next kind of thing. So as always, feedback is always welcomed. I'm completely open for feedback from anybody in the community, anybody that wants to collaborate, get involved. That's great. So that's it for now. One thing I didn't call out, only because I had to reset my PC, is that I'm doing a talk next week at the Bradford Cloud User Group on the 26th. And why didn't I call this out? 26th next week, next Thursday, I'm going to be with the amazing Pete Code, so Pete Gallagher. So we're teaming up. We're talking about IoT on the Bradford Cloud User Group. I'm going to be running through the Jetson Nano video analytics piece, and I know Pete is going to be talking through the incredible story that he's got with the robot arm and his GitHub instructions for that. So it's going to be a good fun session. So if you can, jump on over and say hello to the guys at Bradford Cloud User Group, RSVP, and come and say hello to us all on next Thursday. So yeah, don't know why that was missing from my Jonnychipz on the side, but it was. Sorry for that, guys. But anyway, go and check that out. Like I say, closing thoughts. Thanks everybody for your support. Remember to take some time away from tech, away from the computer. It's been fun for me this week, but it's the end of the week now. It's time for me to start prepping and getting ready for the week ahead, which I'm excited to. So on that note, we'll end it there. Huge thanks for tuning in again this Friday, and yeah, let's look forward to the week ahead. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye for now. As he finds his button. Ta-da.